in there? Hello? Yeah, okay. Welcome back to Jared and Lincoln Go to the Movies. I almost screwed it up.
You almost did.
Lincoln and Jared go to the movies.
Well, you screwed it up again there too. It's Jared and Lincoln. We discussed this.
What did I say?
You said Lincoln and Jared. I think you said it first. You said it.
No,
first
I thought I said Jared and Lincoln. I screw it up every episode, and I'm going to screw it up every episode.
Welcome to Jared and Lincoln Go to the Movies, guys. It's good to be back.
And it's funny because you asked me, you're like, should your name come first because it's your channel? And I said, no, man, I did that specifically. I want to put you first.
Yeah. Well.
Never thinking about myself. Now, today, as you can see on the Now Playing board, we're going to talk about Triple Frontier, a film that just came out on Netflix.
Yeah, the latest Netflix original, kind of their big, I guess, tentpole one for right now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
It is starring Ben Affleck. The cast is massive.
Absolutely crazy. For a Netflix movie, I was shocked when they announced it. Absolutely shocked.
So, Affleck is in it. Oscar Isaac from our favorite movie, The Last Jedi. Charlie Hunnam of
Sons of Anarchy fame, mostly.
Yeah. Exactly. And also King Arthur fame.
Guy Ritchie? Is
that a Guy Ritchie
that
movie?
That's
never saw it, but I don't think I'd like it.
You don't need to see it.
Okay, Garrett Hedlund.
Tron Legacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I recognized him from. It took me all day.
Friday Night Lights. That's a dope movie.
Is he in that?
Yeah, I think he's like one of the running backs or something.
Okay, fair enough. Pedro Pascal.
Game of Thrones is kind of the
is
one. That's where I first, and I think he's in Narcos too, which I haven't seen.
Yes,
Narcos.
He's in Narcos. That's where I would know him from.
Yeah, I remember
just from seeing him on the poster. I don't watch The Thrones, so I'm not
Am I on the wrong channel?
Do you watch The Thrones?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I watch.
I'm not down with The Thrones.
All right, man. That's
I
fine.
might. I mean, now that it's ending, it might be like, all right, time to binge the entire thing with that Crave login and Tegan. But the cast is unreal. There's also quite a history within the. Pardon me, a little frog in my throat. Yeah. There's a history behind the production of this movie that spans about 9 years.
Now I'm just discovering this now. I had no idea.
Yeah, you.
That's why you wanted the Wikipedia.
That's why. Yeah, I know. That's why I want the Wikipedia because I read some stuff about the production of this movie that was actually. And I mean, this stuff happens with movies all the time where it's like when it finally comes out, it's one of those like things where the script was written, 20 years ago, and they're finally making it. And there's like multiple, but the attachments for cast for this movie, have always been unreal.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, from the start to the finish, apparently. Okay. So, but ultimately, the cast that we got for this movie, is stellar, and the boy do they deliver. Now we're going to try and do this as spoiler free as we possibly can. Yeah. The movie's super accessible, because 9 times out of 10, most people have a Netflix account, or you're stealing it from your roommate, whatever it is. Definitely check out this movie. It's 2 hours.
Just over 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah, it's just over 2 hours, and we'll kind of jump into what we felt about the movie. So I'll let you talk first.
I'm interested to see about this casting thing, but we're gonna talk about the movie we got before we start talking about movies that potentially could have happened.
For sure.
The whole Will Smith and the Matrix thing. Anyway, also in Bad Boys 2. I don't know if you remember Will Smith in that.
Every time. Every time.
All right, I gotta say, okay, I watched it a couple days ago. On paper, this movie is like bonkers. Like, you're looking like that cast, the story, like an unsanctioned raid in like Colombia, in like somewhere in South America, against like a cartel member, just 4 guys doing like they're just basically going to.
At its basic core, it's a heist movie.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You're right. Bonkers.
Yeah, it's like, sign me up. And I have to say, I think the biggest praise that I can give this movie is this is the first one that I felt easily could have been a theatrical release and been successful.
And so while you point that out, Netflix did release it in a few select theaters, and I have
kind of like Roma. Like
exactly, and I have a few theories as to why, because there's that whole controversy behind streaming release versus theatrical release going up for awards.
Yep.
So on March 6th, they did
do like a limited.
Yeah, they did a limited theatrical release for this, which, you know what, honestly, would have loved to have seen this in a theater.
And one of the main reasons for that, something we kind of briefly discussed, that this movie looks incredible.
Oh,
absolutely incredible.
And
this is more like something that you'd be more in tune with, given, you know, obviously this is what you do.
The visuals are beautiful.
Unbelievable.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
It's so funny because when you think about the current state of movie releases being what they are, and having something go straight to streaming service, your first thought is like you're in the era of like straight to video, like in the VHS, DVD, Blu-ray era, something that went straight to video, what the quality wasn't typically
lower budget.
Totally, like it wasn't like Addams Family Reunion.
Yeah.
Versus Addams Family, the Addams Family movie.
I would equate it to like watching like Canadian programming to.
There's a lot of really good. Don't you dare step on.
Canadian programming. I don't have cable anymore, so I can't really.
Fair enough. There's a lot of really good Canadian programming out there, and I'm
excited to learn.
But so, like I was saying, your first thought is not quality.
No.
However, this movie
instantly.
The second it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think because we started watching it together and then we kind of paused and we're like, because it was super late.
Yeah.
The last time we were recording, and I think instantly we both were sucked in, and I think that's why we turned it off, because we're like, you know what? No, we need to give this a proper watch, because this actually looks like it's going to be quite an interesting ride. Yep. So that to me is kind of unique because. This movie definitely
had that big screen vibe to it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm fully on board with the fact that this should have done a full theatrical run.
I agree.
And I feel it would have just the cast alone would have drawn up numbers. Mm-hmm. Like I would have gone to the theater for Affleck alone. I love Affleck. Yeah,
big Ben Affleck.
I go to every Affleck movie. It doesn't matter if like Gigli. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, like,
right?
Even Gigli. Yeah, okay, fair
Honestly,
enough.
I watched Gigli, and it's probably, I mean, it was years ago I watched Gigli. It's probably not as bad as everybody thought it was.
You've seen Gigli, and you...
Okay. Everyone just... It was the state of what was happening.
It's fine.
We
don't need to dwell
on
it.
No, we don't.
We don't need to dwell on
it. But Jersey Girl got too much hate for the fact that it was a J-Lo, Ben Affleck movie.
Was that Kevin Smith?
Yeah. That's the... Jersey Girl is an excellent movie. Okay. Moving on.
Back to Triple Frontier. Cinematography, amazing.
The cinematography is amazing. And why this was not a theatrically released movie is beyond me. But that ultimately comes down to, I think, this is my opinion, your movies and studios spend a lot of money advertising for films.
Right.
So, I think Netflix doesn't really need to.
No,
Netflix
kind of
is
writing
Netflix is kind of like, you know what, we really like this movie, we're going to acquire the rights to put it on our streaming service. Yeah. They don't really have to do a ton of advertising because it's built into their system.
Yeah, there's a good chance everybody who has a Netflix account is going to like check in at like every day, or at least every other day, and they're going to see it. Especially if they put it because they can put it on their main screen, right?
Right. And but Netflix's advertising is, if you have a Netflix account, they'll send you an email saying, we just added a movie that you might like. Mm-hmm. That costs them nothing.
Exactly.
They're literally they're paying someone to build graphics for an email blast that's like, hey, click this like movie link, and it's like, oh shit, there's a movie with Ben Affleck.
On the flip side of the coin, you can look, we're literally paying them monthly to bring us content.
Right.
Do you know
so and then like you said, everyone's going to check their Netflix almost daily. As soon as you open it up, there's going to be a big splash page that says Triple Frontier, brand new, with the cast on the front page.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And you're like, holy shit, Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's little to no. There is some advertising overhead, of course. Like they will do, some, but it pales in comparison to what, say a Warner Brothers or a Disney or whatever, when they're doing TV spots and they're doing all that stuff. There was even, and now that I think about it, there was TV spots for Roma.
Yeah.
Netflix pumped a lot of money into actually putting TV spots out for Roma. Yeah. Because it was the Academy push, exactly, the Oscar buzz. But they don't need to do that, because no matter what, you're gonna come across it. If however many I don't know how many Netflix subscribers there are in the world, but it's got to be close to 1 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you really think about it, and out of all those people, how many are going to actually sit down and watch the movies? Right. The numbers got to be high. So it's a smart. So there's I didn't really want to turn this into a debate about theatricality versus streaming, but it's kind of it's blatantly there.
The lines are blurred right now. Essentially, that's how I felt. Like, I'm telling you what. It doesn't matter what we're gonna get to my review of this movie, obviously, but eventually we'll get there. But like, if you guys keep pumping out stuff like this, I'm never canceling my account, because
100%
top tier.
And the previous Netflix acquired movies, like the
Cloverfield Paradox,
that one, couldn't get through it. We don't have to touch on it too hard, but I mean that was one that was like, holy crap, there's another Cloverfield movie. Super disappointing. Yeah. The previous 2 Cloverfield movies, you know what, Cloverfield Lane was 10 Cloverfield Lane, best one of the 3. I agree. In my opinion. Yeah. But this is an example of Netflix buying something that has obvious value, of course, and essentially giving it to us for pennies on the dollar, because we pay like our what we pay for streaming per month versus
like going to the theater, like
pales in comparison. Weekend. Yeah. So this was a big win for Netflix. Yeah. In my opinion. Yeah. So talk kind of what
I thought of it. Yeah. I mean, cast wise, I thought they were all. I thought it was great. I thought everyone did a really good job. I'm always a little on the fence, as much as a Sons of Anarchy fan that I was. I'm always a little on the fence with Charlie Hunnam. His accent, it always sounds like it's about to break. He doesn't like. Just let him speak in what I don't even know where he's from. Is he Australian? Is he British? What is he? It doesn't matter. He's very flaky with his accent, which kind of takes me out. That being said, I was very impressed with him in this one.
He was incredible.
He was great. This movie, though, like we were talking about, on paper is like an amazing movie. The plot is fairly thin. And because of that, I think it's a double-edged sword, because I thought the beginning of the movie, it worked really well, because that's kind of where the front end of the action is, the planning of the heist, the actual heist.
Well, before you get there, the refusal of the call. Where they're like, I don't know. And then they're like, all right, I'm on board. Right,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe I do want $400 million.
Yeah, okay, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and so, like, it was very, very simple. And I think when it got to the second half of the movie, for me, the movie kind of felt like it started to coast. And my initial feeling was they didn't do, apart from one character, I feel like they didn't do enough development in the beginning to make me really care about these guys when the movie was starting to come to its climax, I guess. And speaking of the climax, again, I'm not looking to spoil anything. It felt a little, I don't know, just wasn't as exciting. The first half is like where I was like, this is dope. The second half was like, okay, I'm along for the ride now, because I've already committed to the first bit. But that being said, like, I thought it was great. Like, it's super easy to sit down, like, on a Saturday night, whatever, you're looking for something to watch. Like, it's one of those movies where if I think too hard about it, I'm gonna pick it apart. But for my total enjoyment, though, I gotta say, like, I had a blast with it. Yeah, and that's kind of where I landed with it. I'm like, yo, that was great. Like, I was never bored, and that's a big thing. Like, obviously, a big sign of like how did I enjoy the movie. I was never bored. I wasn't looking at my watch. I had a great time with it. So
there's a lot of moments in that movie where I was literally sitting on the edge of my couch going, why, what is happening? Like, why? And so the overall, I really like. Yes, some of the plot points are kind of thin, and yeah, like, um, I did feel more connected to the characters, probably than you did.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Affleck, he's a silver fox now, man. Oh my god,
Even with the dad bod, you can see he kind of let himself go after post Batman.
It's hilarious because yeah, he starts the movie with that a
little bit of
a gut,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
by like the end of the movie, you're like did he slim down like
and it's over the course of like maybe a week. I don't know when they start planning.
It takes the course of the movie takes place very quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's like within a 2-week span.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So whatever program you're on, Ben Affleck.
Well, and I think a lot of that has to do with some things that happen in the movie. But yeah, he definitely felt slimmer.
He did, yeah.
Later in the movie, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
More jacked and more closer to Batman than he was.
Literally climbing mountains, and I was like,
he was more like in between Batman at the beginning of the movie, where he's like, I'm stressed out and drinking, and then he gets to like, I'm back to Batman mode.
Yeah.
Into that, and but honestly, dude, I love in everything that he does, he gets shit on so much. Yeah. And I don't know why, because it is unfair. He's so good.
Yeah, and like he's one of the actors where it's because we kind of talked about this with like Sam Jackson as well. He's been in over 200 movies. But Ben Affleck is one of those guys where it's like, yeah, you're seeing Ben Affleck, but like I believe him. Do you know what I mean? When he's on screen, I believe he's the character. Yep. Unlike somebody like Tom Cruise, where it's like, oh, it's Tom Cruise doing his thing. I'm still enjoying the movie, but that's Tom Cruise.
Right. And not only is it believable, he makes it utterly watchable.
Yes.
Because you enjoy while watching him do whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah, he's like just like a magnet. You know what I mean? You have to pay attention to what he's doing.
He also he's getting into that age where he's like, you know, like with Clooney, like, you know, and obviously Damon and Brad Pitt, like all those guys are now like they're coming into that like golden age of cinema look where they're you know, like they've got that classic Hollywood look, and like dude, like he has such a strong jaw. It's even under the beard, like you can it's just square. Oh my god, his face is unreal. But
so you're just attracted to Ben Affleck is what I'm getting from this.
You heard it here first, folks. I love this shirt. I'm gonna get a shirt that says "I love Affleck."
I'm gonna get one that says "I love Gyllenhaal." Can we do that? Let's do that.
All right,
honestly,
we're doing
we'll order after.
But yeah, it's Affleck. It's not that Affleck makes the movie for me, because everyone around him
does a really good job.
That's the thing, is like there's no one. To me, it doesn't feel like there's one person that's kind of scene stealing at any point. Like it genuinely, like they're friends in the movie. All 5 of them.
Yeah.
Is it 5 or 6? There's 5 of them.
Is it 5?
Isaac, Affleck, Hunnam, Pedro, and yeah, there's 5.
Yeah.
So it feels like all 5. There's like a genuine level of friendship and like knowing each other that really comes across.
And it does. Yeah, it goes a long way in selling their bond.
Yep.
One thing this is a really small thing that I noticed that I really appreciated about it, talking about that, is like whenever, like when they're always like, I shouldn't say always, but when we see them again, they're hugging each other, which is, you know, it's not.
Well, they're doing that to set up the fact that they know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Within the story.
It's just kind of nice to see like that kind of like there's like a more intimate like brotherly love between these guys. That even though they can't dwell on it, like they're not going to dwell on all their past excursions.
No.
They hint at it, but like it was just nice to see it, and I think that kind of goes
a
long way.
The camaraderie is genuine, and I really appreciate it.
And I bought it.
About all those actors selling it.
Yep.
So the casting of this movie was pitch perfect. With what we landed on, and we're going to talk about what happened over the course of from 2010 to 2018 when they finally shot the movie. Right. But ultimately the casting is great, and the overall theme of, because this film is predominantly about greed and what that does to people, including simply a band of brothers.
Yeah,
those 5 guys, and like the dissemination that that happens within their group. Yeah, like that all spurs from money and what someone will do when there's
that
like much money on the line.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of really good moments for all of them where you see some character shifts and a lot of some really good you'll see when you see the movie, but there's a lot of really good you can see the characters changing and trying to figure out like how to deal with this newfound wealth and
not even like the newfound, it's just even the like the potential.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They don't have it. They don't have it till they're across the border.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And like you're right, like and like,
just the desperation behind all of that, and just trying to get home with every last dollar,
like what they'll risk to get it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like in the heat of of the moment, like they're
exactly, and that's what makes it so watchable and not boring at all, because you're it's tantalizing. It's absolutely thrilling to watch that, and that's what kept me on the edge of my seat, where I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, why? Just go. So, jumping in, you're gonna be finding out a lot of this for the first time. So October of 2010, Tom Hanks and Johnny Depp entered talks to join the cast of this film, to be directed by Catherine Bigelow, who ultimately was one of the producers.
I was gonna say,
but like, unreal. Those three names right there, unreal.
That to me sounds like Best Picture of the Year.
Hurt Locker, Castaway, Tonto. Because that's what he's most famous for.
Okay.
So, so the shooting was supposed to happen in 2011.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in 2010, Hanks was officially on board. To shoot, and Johnny Depp. Then J.C. Chandor, who eventually is the director of this film.
He is the director.
So in 2015, he was going to direct it for Paramount Pictures. And Catherine Bigelow left because she wanted to focus on her film about Bo Bergdahl, which ultimately was dropped in favor of Detroit, which is another great movie.
Yep, really good.
Catherine Bigelow is she's a fantastic filmmaker.
Yep.
And she owes none of that to Jim Cameron. So later, it was Tom Hanks and Will Smith, your buddy Will Smith,
my man,
in talks for the lead roles. Okay. It was alternately titled at one point Sleeping. I'm getting right. Alternately, it was titled titled Sleeping Dogs at one point. And it jumped around through studios. And I mean, this happens with movies all the time, where scripts get shopped around and like it looks like you're going into production, and then things just kind of fall apart.
Other projects line up they commit to.
The fact that this movie got made with the cast that it has after 9 years of kind of like being figured out is astounding. Absolutely astounding. And I mean, so then Will Smith had to leave due to scheduling conflicts with doing Collateral Beauty. So in 2017...
Good choice, Will.
Well, this wasn't happening at that time, and it obviously didn't happen until 2018. So in 2017, Channing Tatum and Tom Hardy were in talks to join the film, with Johnny Depp and Hanks no longer up for some of the roles. And then in 2017 as well, Mahershala Ali, who he didn't win the Oscar, did he?
He did. He won for Moonlight, Best Supporting Actor, I think, 2 years ago.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. So fantastic actor. Right there, that's another huge name.
Yeah.
He joined the cast with Channing Tatum and Hardy, and they were all officially signed on to do this. Now, Triple Frontier got dropped by Paramount. Channing Tatum and Tom Hardy no longer a part of the cast, but Mahershala Ali and Adria Arjona still attached to star in this thing.
Yeah.
So it was in 2017 that Netflix started the negotiations to acquire the rights to this film.
Yeah.
So they've had this for a long time. Yeah. Like this is like Netflix before it was even shot. Yeah. Netflix was like, we want this, and we're gonna put it up on the thing. So it's not even a matter of like they went to say a Sundance or a South by Southwest
and purchased an already made
movie.
Right.
So that's another really impressive thing about this movie is the fact that Netflix was like, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And like, let's get it done. And they drew in the cast that they like. It's just it's mind-boggling.
There's a name popping up on here.
We're getting to that.
Okay.
So Netflix is in the negotiations to acquire the rights with Ben Affleck and Casey Affleck in negotiations for the roles that Tom Hardy and Channing Tatum had now vacated.
Right.
It was also at that point reported that Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg. Ben Affleck dropped out of the film in 2017 due to personal reasons. So then Mark Wahlberg was in talks to jump in and take over the role that Ben Affleck had in the film with Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Hedlund, Pedro.
With the cast that we got now.
No. Oh. Arjona was Adria Arjona. Wait. Sorry, gotta check. Adria Arjona played Yovana. So she's still in the film. Yeah. So she was attached the whole time. My bad. Committed. Oscar Isaac wasn't in yet, though.
Oh, right.
So they were set to film in August of 2017 in Hawaii and Colombia. So then, a year ago, March... What's today? March 17th? So a year ago, 2 days from now, March 19th, 2018, it was announced that Triple Frontier would commence principal production on March 26th of 2018. So only a year ago they shot this film and then just blasted it out a year later on Netflix. That's super impressive. Yeah. Like, that's pretty short for...
Given the locations and... And
realistically, some movies sit in the can for like a year and a half, 2 years before they hit.
Yep.
Sometimes. And by this time, Ben Affleck had obviously signed back on, with Oscar Isaac also having signed on to, and then the cast that we got, as Mahershala Ali had to drop out because the production was delayed so long. So he was probably
Detective or something. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
No. That's possible. I'm not. I mean, it doesn't say what he was. What he was doing, but that's like, think about that. This like the life that this film has had from 2010 to now, where it's out and we have the cast that we have.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of big names in there.
Yeah,
from
the beginning.
From the beginning, yeah. Tom Hanks, Johnny Depp, Mark Wahlberg, Channing Tatum, Will Smith, Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
things happen when they're supposed to happen.
Yeah,
and you know, they tend to happen at the perfect time with hopefully the perfect cast. And you know what? I commend Netflix. This is a big win for them.
I agree. It's the classic. You know, once we've seen it, it's hard to imagine somebody else, you know, in the role. I think you're absolutely right. Ben Affleck nailed it. You're right. He wasn't he didn't steal anything from, he wasn't a scene stealer by any means, but he definitely was kind of the glue. It's I'm gonna keep watching. He's so enjoyable to watch.
Always.
Even as Batman, we've talked about this. We thought he was great. But as far as, are we at the review part? Are we at the,
we're getting to ratings. Yeah. All right. We're at 28 minutes, so we.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
You were like, let's keep this to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We're almost at half an hour. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, so we're doing The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi.
So 0 to 5.
0 to 5.
0 being the best movie of the year. 5 being the worst piece of dog shit you've ever seen.
Right. I am going to, especially after having this conversation, because you have this ability to kind of make me think a little harder about it, which is good. Do you know what I mean?
I love it. I love being able to convince people that they're wrong.
Yeah.
Not that they're wrong, but that I try to see the beauty. I try to, in every movie that I watch, I try to find, at the very least, at least one thing that I really liked about it.
Yeah.
And then I take that and I kind of expound it on the whole thing, where it's like, okay, you know, because there's I mean, yes, there's bad movies, but at the end of the day, that's still someone's art, and that somebody worked really hard to get this done. So I never ever want to come down super hard on something that somebody worked really hard.
You're super romantic about movies, man. I dig
it. You know what? It's every single movie is a love letter to someone. Right. There's someone out there that loves. Like, you know, a piece of cinema that you maybe don't doesn't resonate with somebody somebody out there loves that movie, and it either saved their life. I'm not crying. It either saved their life, or it made them feel good for an hour and a half.
Yep.
You know, like, or 2 hours or whatever. Right. Like, that's why movies are important, and I don't ever want to. I'm not ever going to shit too hard on something that, you know, because anyway, I mean, it's funny that I say all of that, and then it's like, we hate The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is an exception. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's an anomaly.
That is 100. There are, I don't want to do a Last Jedi review. I don't. There are things in that movie that I do like, but as a whole, it's so hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Do you
see how intense he gets?
How many The Last Jedi?
But I love all movies.
I do love all movies. I do. How many The Last Jedis?
I'm going to go and give this a 1 Last Jedi.
Damn, dude. Damn.
I think, like I said, it's the kind of movie that if I pick it apart, I'm going to find reasons. I'm like the opposite. I'm going to pick it apart and find reasons to not like it. Yeah. But my initial pass of it, like, all my gripes aside, I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. It's so hard. The cinematography, it's like oh my God. It's just that one scene where Oscar Isaac is like standing, he gets on the back of that, and I told you this when we were watching the stationary camera on the moving vehicle, and he like looks back and then like looks forward, and the whole time like everything's moving around. Oh my God, there's just there is so much in that.
Right.
There's in that one shot. There's so much in that, and start to finish, the cinematography never lapses in any way. It's beautiful.
Agreed.
Start to finish.
Agreed.
They make all of the like the set design, the costumes, everything is. The production value of this movie, nothing feels cheap. Everything feels incredibly valid and real.
Yep.
So, with all of that being said, I'm going to give it a 1 The Last Jedi as well. I know, you know what? It's 100%. I mean, I finished watching it pretty much right before we made this video.
You're a busy man.
Most times it's pretty much I'll be like finishing whatever we're going to be talking about, and then like coming in and turning the camera on. Most times is probably,
which is good because it gives you kind of a slight, like a fresher perspective.
I'm sure there'll be a video where I'm literally like finishing the last scene.
Okay, let's go.
Like, finishing it on the TV and then going, and welcome to the, like Jared and Lincoln go to the movies. I got it right that time. So yes, I'm giving it 1 The Last Jedi as well. Fantastic movie.
Yep.
Absolutely watchable, and the fact that it is so accessible and it's available literally on your home TV right now makes it that much better.
Close this video and go watch it.
I'm not going to link it in the description because there's no need. You can go to your whatever streaming device, turn on Netflix. I almost forgot what it was on. Turn on Netflix, watch Triple Frontier right now.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
And stop shitting all over Ben Affleck.
Please.
So for Jared and Lincoln go to the movies, I'm Lincoln.
I'm Jared.
And remember, go to the movies.